Hello everybody, welcome back to Infinity Bottle Evolution. We are here with episode number 5. As per normal, I am your host DJ, here with my trusty Infinity Bottle. Excited to be here once again with you folks. We're going to do a tasting as per normal today, and we're going to get into adding a little bit more in the mix. Before we get started on the tasting today, got my first feedback. I was able to send out version number 3 of my bottle. Thank you, Kevin Broken. I expect to see a bottle from you arriving any day now, and I'm excited to share a review here on the channel of your Infinity Bottle. Version number 3, Kevin's review, he was saying that he, on the nose, got a lot of brown sugar, and he got some caramel, but more like a caramel apple sort of thing going on. He said he was getting a slight amount of maple and vanilla in the mix. He also was getting, from sipping, he was getting something that was very corn forward. He felt that he was picking up some leather, but he felt it was very drinkable. So really exciting to hear a little bit of feedback from somebody from version 3 of the bottle. Today we're going to be sipping on version number 5. So it's got a couple more things in the mix. Last time we got together, it was definitely tasting a little sweet in my personal opinion. I was picking up like a candy, confectionery sugar. I was getting like almost like a gobstopper sort of thing, but I was still getting a good amount of heat. Still haven't really felt the finish developed in my Infinity Bottle yet. And that very well could be because things are still marrying. I mean, this Infinity Bottle project started about 3 weeks ago now, maybe 4 weeks, less than a month ago. So the bottle's still developing. Last time I did add some things that I felt were a little bit more on that bitter, less sweet side of things. If I recall correctly, I added a little bit more of the Trader Joe's Kentucky Straight Bourbon, as well as a little bit of the Pinhook 5-year, which I definitely find to be more on that bitter, drier side of bourbon. Definitely planning on trying to keep my bottle on the fuller side. Proofage, I've been kind of tracking my proofage roughly. Currently I'm floating about 97, 98 proof, give or take. Rough numbers, but just the same. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pour myself an ounce of this. As I pour, I'm going to go ahead and ask for the normal things that I always ask you folks to do. Please take a minute, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that little bell so you get alerted when we post new videos. Go ahead and like and put some comments in. Tell me about your Infinity Bottle. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Tell me about some of the bottles I'm talking about. Whatever you want to share, the more the merrier. We're trying to build a community here. When we do get up to 100 subscribers, I will be giving away a 2-ounce pour from my Infinity Bottle. We'll run some sort of contest to be determined on that. But right now, we are actively asking you, if you have an Infinity Bottle, get in touch. I want to trade samples with you. I want to try your Infinity Bottle. I want to start building what I'm calling the Infinite Infinity Bottle, which is going to be a Infinity Bottle made up of people's Infinity Bottles. So, as I mentioned, my friend Kevin Broken sending me a sample now. He's sending me a 2-ounce pour. I'm going to pour an ounce on screen with you guys. I'm going to take another ounce. I'm going to pour it into the Infinite Infinity Bottle project. I'm going to add an ounce of mine. And the plan is every Infinity Bottle sample that I get, an ounce is going to go into that mix. So that's going to be another fun offshoot of what we're doing here with my personal collection Infinity Bottle. Something really unique and something I've never seen anybody do, blending infinite Infinity bottles. So yeah, I'm excited to try it out. Really appreciate the feedback I've been hearing from some folks. I know my friend Kevin that I mentioned that's sending a bottle, he started his Infinity Bottle after watching our video. Another good buddy of mine started an Infinity Bottle last weekend. So I'm excited that I'm encouraging some folks to start their own bottles, and I look forward to trying them in side-by-sides. Also, definitely plan on having some friends join me in the near future for some tastings, for some sippings. My nose, my palate, it's okay. It's getting better every week, in my opinion. I'm getting better and better at smelling things, nosing things, differentiating things. My personal style, if it's a Friday, Saturday night, and I'm sitting down to have a couple drinks, let's say I'm gonna have 4 ounces. What I tend to do, grab a bunch of crap out of the cabinet, start trying different things side by side. It's really helped me develop my palate. It's really helped me to pick out things I like and I don't like. And even bottles that I really like, sometimes when I compare them, I don't necessarily like them in the same way. For instance, last night, I was sipping on a lot of different things, but I started the night with a little Four Roses single barrel and loved it. It had been a while since I revisited that bottle. By the end of the night, I decided to end the night with some Noah's Mill. And I tend to love Noah's Mill, but after drinking Four Roses, I drank a little Russell Reserve, I drank a little Noble Oak. I actually went back to that bottle and was enjoying that last night. Can't remember what else I drank, but I pulled probably 6 or 7 bottles out of my cabinet last night. And by the time I made it to Noah's Mill at the end, I didn't really like it comparatively to some others. Now, that's not to say I'm not a fan of Noah's Mill. I plan on drinking Noah's Mill. I think it's a great, over a cube, cold winter night sort of high proof, cinnamon forward, fun bottle to drink. But it's, palates are ever developing. So it's cool to kind of be developing my palate a little bit more. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the Infinity bottle here and see what we're looking at. My color consistency, I'm still very, very happy with. It's definitely got some good age sort of consistency to it. Pulling some things that I have by my side. I think it's got a little bit of a similar kind of tone to something like a Blade and Bow. It's a little lighter than something like a Woodford double oaked, but that makes sense because it's double oaked. It's, in my opinion, it's got a little bit more color to it than something like the Calumet 12 year. So I'm pretty happy with the color. Getting a lot of vanilla today. A little bit of leather. Getting some fruit in the mix, which is surprising because I didn't really add anything fruity last time. I'm getting almost like an apricot. A little bit of corn. The sweetness seems to have come down quite a bit. A little bit of caramel. So yeah, still pretty complex in the nose. A lot of different things. Every whiff's a little different. I even get a little bit of apple in there, and I don't know if that's because I'm thinking about apples because of the caramel apple comment that Kevin made, but I get a little bit of apple apricot cross blend going on here. Interesting. All right, cheers. Leather, spice, cinnamon. Really good mouthfeel. Still got some burn, but I can tell that the hug's not quite as intense as it was in some of the earlier versions of the bottle. almost get like a little bit of a vibe of like sitting by the campfire. I know that's not necessarily a flavor, but you're bringing all that smoke in. I'm getting some smokiness, some campfire smokiness here. Definitely not picking up on the fruit that I'm getting in the nose. I'm definitely getting that more in the smell than in the flavor profile. See that just gave me a kick of caramel, like a really upfront caramel kick. And it's got the vanilla. It's got a little bit of cinnamon and leather in the backside. Pretty good. I'm happy with version number 5. All right, well, let's work on version 6 here, gang. So based on what I just had and what I just tasted in the mix, I think today what I'm going to add here, I'm going to go ahead and add another ½ ounce of that Calumet. I'm itching to get myself a bottle of the 15-year. I've only ever had this 12-year. I like the 12-year, but it's got a little bit more bite than I was expecting from a 12-year, to be honest. I've seen this on a lot of shelves recently available. A friend of mine actually picked this up for me on a trip to Kentucky not too long ago, maybe a year or so ago. And I've been slowly nursing the bottle because I didn't know if I'd have access to another one. But yeah, I saw it in 3 different shops in Jersey last weekend, so I was kind of surprised about that. The batch size on this one in particular is only 19 barrels. Now I don't necessarily know. It was definitely a 12-year that I saw in the shops. It was definitely a single rack black. This rack size was 19 barrels. So I don't know if that's from different barrels what I'm seeing on the shelf now, or if that's part of the same 19 barrels here. Yeah, I like this bottle. It's a 74% corn, 18% rye, 8% barley mash bill. So it's got a nice little mix. You know, I've been finding more and more that I like the rye based bourbons, but I think I'm becoming a little bit more of a weeder. I've really been liking. Oh, I drank some Weller last night, Special Reserve, and that I'm really loving that bottle. For MSRP sort of price bottle, I think it's a really good value if you can find it. I'd really like to get myself a bottle of Weller 107 or a 12-year. I live in Pennsylvania, and this week we had a release, and it was a shit show. It was a digital only bottle release of allocated bourbons, and I spent 3 hours hitting refresh. Got Stag Junior in my car. By the time I was able to get anything in the cart, unfortunately, the Weller went quick. And that was unavailable by the time I was actually able to add to my cart. But yeah, I was really excited because I added a Stag Junior, and it was like $40. And I also added a bottle of 1792 Sweet Wheat. So I was excited for those bottles. And then the PA Fine Wines a Good Spirit website is just garbage. And I think all of us bourbon heads in the state were just bombarding the site. So you just couldn't get anything to load. When I finally got my account loaded, I got these 2 bottles in there. I'm ready to check out. It freaking wipes out my cart. I was so pissed. I mean, getting a Stag Junior for $40 would have been amazing. But, you know, keep trying, keep punting. One of these days, I will acquire a bottle of Stag Junior, but I'm not going crazy. I'm a big believer in spending MSRP price, maybe a little bit above. I am not spending $300 for a bottle of Stag Junior. I am not gonna spend 150, $200 for a bottle of Weller. If I can get a bottle at MSRP, if it's $10 over and it's something I'm hunting for, no problem. I'll do it in a heartbeat. But this past week, I was searching for a bottle of Blanton's, and I heard a rumor that this one place had it for about $100 a bottle. And I know that's steep. I know that's expensive for that bottle, but I wanted it in my collection. I was willing to pay $100 for that bottle. Something I don't normally do, but I've seen those bottles also be retailed for $200. So I was like, you know what, for $100, let me just do it. Went to the shop, talked to the gentleman who was the owner. Sure enough, after a little bit of conversation, he told me, I'll get 1 or 2 a month, put them on the shelf, and they generally go that same day. Bittersweet that I didn't grab it, or I didn't have access to it. What I really am kicking myself is I was in a Total Wine and I saw some nice bottles of barrel bourbon, around $100, give or take. And I passed on them. One I'm really mad I passed on is actually an American whiskey from Barrel Bourbon. Barrel does an infinite bottle. I think it's an infinite barrel. So they're constantly revolving products in and out of this barrel. And so every bottling day has a completely different taste. And it just would have been cool to grab a bottle of that for what I'm doing here, something fun, something different. So I'm kind of mad at myself for not grabbing that, but is what it is. What I was really have been hunting for a bottle of Smoke Wagon, uncut, unfiltered. That's been my unicorn as of lately. Luckily, a close friend of mine scored a bottle for me this week. Sitting 2 states away. Might be a little bit till I get my hands on it, but I know I have a bottle of Smoke Wagon, unfiltered, uncut, with my name on it. So thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate that. Look forward to adding that here in the mix, and look forward to cracking it and sipping it by itself, honestly. All right, so anyways, back to the bottle here. I'm also going to go ahead and add another ½ ounce. I did a half of the Calumet Farms today. I'm also going to do a ½ ounce of the New Southern Revival straight bourbon whiskey, 100% Jimmy Red Corn. Got this past summer in Charleston, South Carolina with my brother. We did a tasting there. I tasted the rye, I tasted their regular bourbon, and then I tasted this high proof goodness. I ended up walking away with a bottle of this as well as a bottle of the rye. You can tell it's on the young side, but it's got a nice amount of alcohol to it. Yeah, this is 57% alcohol, so it's it's pretty good proofage. Bottle 115. I found with the story tag here, pretty cool product. It's made with Jimmy Red Corn. Apparently, when this distiller started out, the corn was more or less extinct, and they've worked with farmer to repopulate this corn for this bourbon, and now specifically have been able to build up fields of this particular red corn, this heirloom corn, to make sure it doesn't go extinct, and it's going in this product here. I like this bottle a bit. It was a little expensive. I want to say this was like a $90 bottle, but I was on a road trip, wanted to get a bottle where I was, wanted to bring something home. I don't see this on the shelves. You don't find it in Pennsylvania, that's for sure. But when I hop over to Jersey, I'm not seeing this on the shelves. So I'm glad I grabbed the bottle. Honestly, I'm probably going to slow down on drinking it, so that way I can build my shelf up a little bit. I've been back and forth, guys. And please share your comments and your feelings on this in the down below. But when it comes to bottles of bourbon, there's a couple schools of thought out there. Some people are in the firm belief that you open a bottle, you gotta polish it off in a year or two. You're running chances of oxidation. You gotta kill it. Open it, drink it, get rid of it. Other folks in the school of thought, you know what? You got a bottle. It's kicking around for years and years and years and years. It's only going to get more delicious. I don't know. I don't know what I think. Before I turned this bottle into my Infinity bottle, when I had the IW Harper in it, I probably got that bottle 4 years ago. So I nursed it. And I mean, when we got down to the tail end, not going to lie, there was a little bit over 2 ounces in the bottle. So there was 1/4 of an ounce, 1/2 an ounce. So I sipped that before I started on the bottle itself. And I thought it was just as delicious as when I initially got my hands on that bottle. So I don't know. Does bourbon, I mean, technically, sure, it could go bad. But if you're storing it right, I mean, what I tend to do with my bourbons, I have a liquor cabinet. So everything goes behind closed doors. So it's not getting sunlight protruding in that's going to potentially damage the liquid. If sunlight's beating down on this juice all day long, it's going to evaporate. That's never good. And I guess it, probably could heat it up, in direct sunlight. So I'm thinking the fact that I keep it in a closed liquor cabinet, it's in a living room, so it's, reasonably temperature controlled atmosphere, sticks in the 60s, 70s in that room. So I really think that I'm probably fine storing bourbons for an infinite amount of time. Look, I'm not one of these guys that's going to have a bourbon bar and have 300, 400, 500 bottles opened. Doesn't make sense. I probably have, and you guys have seen, if you've been following along on this channel, you've seen every bottle of bourbon I have in my cabinet right now, which is about 25, give or take. But on top of that, I got a couple bottles of rye. And then, of course, I got some other things. I got a bottle of tequila. I got a bottle of rum. I got a bottle of vodka. I tend to drink bourbon. It's what I drink. But I find it's good, I tried ryes, and there's a couple. I got a couple. I'll keep a couple around. Every once in a while, I want something a little different. I don't want to sip on bourbon. So I might pour myself a rye. But as a general rule of thumb, I'm just more of a fan of bourbon and American whiskey than I am of rye. And that's just personal preference, I guess, more than anything else. But yeah, I'm curious what people's thoughts are. I'm curious of how many bottles you keep open at a time. If people worry about bottles once they get to a certain level. Personally, what I'm trying to do is nurse the first half, but if a bottle gets down below half, that's when I'm like, all right, we can start really working on bringing this bottle down, especially if it's something I can get my hands on, right? Blade and Bow, I'm gonna get another bottle of this. I'm going to kill this bottle, and I'm going to get another bottle of this, but I can find this, With the new Southern Revival, will I go out and spend $90 on another bottle of this? Do I think this is worth 90? No, I don't. Would I buy another bottle of this if it was 50, 60? Yeah, I would. But even at $90, I'm not seeing it locally, so I want to keep this around. Now, realistically, my cabinet, I probably can hold 40 bottles of bourbon, comfortably. Anything more than that is going to be overkill. So I will reach a point in my collection where it's like, all right, I got to kill some bottles to make some room for some new things. I'm also not the type of guy, I'm not going to buy a bottle and let it sit sealed for a long period of time. I'm not going to buy a backup bottle unless it's something that I can't find. I mean, I'm looking for another bottle of the IW Harper 15, and quite honestly, if I walked into a liquor store tomorrow and I saw 2 bottles of that available, I'm buying 2 bottles. If I walk into a store and I see a Weller 107 available, see 2 of them available, I'm grabbing 2 bottles. Honestly, if I saw 4 available, I'm probably grabbing 4 because I want to take care of my buddies too, right? You got to have a community. You got to have your bourbon community. You got to have, if you're serious collecting, if you're serious about hunting and finding those rare bottles, you got to have a network of people you work with. And you got to look out for each other. My buddy Ben goes down to Kentucky a couple times a year. You know, he's the one who grabbed me the bottle of Weller not too long ago. I know that if Ben sees something, he is on it for me. He knows what I'm looking for. You know, to a certain extent, I'm always looking for different things. But he knows. He also knows what he's not going to see on the shelf regularly. He saw that Weller Special Reserve. He saw 2 bottles of it on the shelf. He knew, I don't see this on the shelf. I'm grabbing these 2. One's going to me, one's going to EJ. So I really appreciate, you know, that sort of camaraderie. My buddy Kevin up in New York, now I got a buddy, I'm in PA, I got a buddy in New York also on the hunt for me. And vice versa. You know, if I see something that these guys need, that these guys want, I'm going to try to reach out to them. If I can't reach them, and I really think it's something these guys are going to want, I'm probably just going to buy it. And then, you know, what happens? You know, I buy a bottle of, you know, whatever the case may be, and these guys are like, you know, nah, I'm cool, I'll pass on it. That's fine, because I know that somebody out there is going to want a Weller 107, and I'm not a tater, as they call them on Reddit. You know, I'm not going to mark that bottle up. I'm going to trade. You know, if I saw somebody reach out here, and I'll share here. If I end up with an extra bottle of something, I will share it on this channel, and I will, you know, offer the opportunity to trade, or to even. I'm not a reseller, but hey, if I spend $60 on a bottle and it's an awesome bottle and I don't need the second bottle, I'll pass along the love. I'll sell it to you for 60. But point being, you know, bourbon should be a community. You know, in this hunting world, we're all going to find different things at different times. We're all going to get lucky every once in a while. One thing I personally hate is I hate the fact that some people really look down on people for buying multiple bottles. If it's something you love and you can't find it, grab a couple. As long as you're not turning around and selling it for double the price, what's the harm? Anyways, guys, thank you for joining. I know I got on a bit of a tangent there today and talked about things outside of the Infinity bottle, but hey, you know, the premise of this channel is about this bottle, about this Infinity bottle and the voyage it's making. But we're going to talk all things bourbon. You know, I'm in love with bourbon. I am. And right now it's my biggest hobby. You know, I have a lot of other hobbies. Obviously, as some of you may see from the back wall here, I have a love for vinyl records. I do some amateur coffee roasting. I have a love for coffee. I got a dog. I have a love for that. I love my family. You know, there's a lot of things. I love my Oculus and playing some VRs from time to time. But, you know, ultimately right now, my most fun hobby is bourbon. And my most fun hobby within bourbon is this bottle. I just love what I'm doing with it. It's new. It's fun. It's different. Like I said, look forward to starting on that Infinity bottle, but at the end of the day, it should be fun. You know, I'm not a daily drinker. I'm a Friday, Saturday night kind of drinker. You know, sure, I might have a pour on a Sunday. You know, special occasion, I go out on a weekday, I'm going to have a pour. But as a general rule of thumb, I'm not drinking bourbon every day. I'm not drinking alcohol every day. I don't drink beer. I just don't. You know, it doesn't appeal to me. It's not my thing. I might might have a six-pack over a year. Some days sitting poolside, middle of the summer, I don't really want to drink a bourbon, And I tend to drink my bourbon pretty much neat. Certain things I'll have over a cube. Sometimes I'll make myself an old fashioned. But when I'm drinking an old fashioned, I tend not to use the high end stuff. I'll drink a mellow fucking corn. I'll use that Trader Joe's $15 bottle. I'm tending to use a little bit less expensive stuff in my mixers. But I'm a firm believer in there's no wrong way to drink bourbon. It's your bottle. Drink it the way you want to. You want to drink it with cubes? Go for it. You want to drink it neat? Go for it. You want to put a couple drops of water in there? Go for it. There's no wrong way. It's your bottle. You want to use a pappy to make a freaking old fashioned? Go for it. I personally wouldn't be using pappy. I've never had pappy. Disclaimer. But if I had a bottle of pappy, I wouldn't be using it as a mixer. I'd be drinking that bad boy straight. I might put a couple drops of water in there, but that's me. Doesn't mean it's your way to drink. There's no wrong way. As long as you enjoy it, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. All right. So once again, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, comments, likes. Let's build that community. Let's keep driving. Let's get up to 100 subscribers here so I can give away a pour. You have an infinity bottle going, please reach out. Please let me know. Let's trade some samples. Come on, let's do it. I want to see what you're working with. And I'd love to share a little bit of my juice with you. Once again, from Infinity Bottle Evolution, we appreciate you folks. Stay safe out there, drink responsibly, and have fun with it. Till next time, we will see you. Take care.